What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of World's Finest. We are your hosts, Lee and LT. LT, what's up? How are you doing this fine evening?
Doing well, brother. Getting ready to talk about a really good movie we saw this weekend.
Yeah, we are going to talk about a movie that we saw this weekend. I don't know if
Uh-oh.
I can add.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable adding
Oh, no.
the
Okay.
adjectives that you threw out there, just now describing it or the adjective. But we'll talk about that for sure. As we are saying, we are going to discuss Venom: Let There Be Carnage. That did drop this week. It's a huge hit. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's definitely a huge hit. It's made over $90 million, which I think was more than Shang-Chi. I think at least $5 million more than Shang-Chi. Uh, and above obviously Black Widow too. Because of the whole Disney Plus debacle and debacle as some would call it, coming out at the same time. That probably counted that. But yeah, Venom Man made over $90 million, huge hit. It's obviously guaranteed way more movies with Venom in there. Obviously, if you didn't know that from the mid credit scene, but there's definitely going to be more, and that guarantees it because this movie is really popular apparently with a lot of people. What do you think, man? Tell me what your thoughts were. I mean, I'm just curious to know but it was everything. Was Let There Be Carnage everything you thought it was going to be?
Okay. Well, first let's start by saying this is gonna be full of spoilers because we're gonna just talk about everything.
Yeah.
The no, I loved part one a lot, although I wish it was a lot more R-rated because of the source material, Venom. But they pulled it off. So I wondered how they were going, if they were going to jack up any kind of violence or any kind of anything. They did not, but it was still really good as far as for it being a PG-13, right?
PG-13. Yeah.
Yes, no, but Gone was the origin story and all that. So it was, basically diving right into what we had been missing between one and two, which is Eddie Brock and Venom, living together, going hand in hand. I really enjoyed it. I wish there was a little bit more to the that's just me to the violence factor, or a little bit more to the mature rating it could have gotten, but for the most part it was a really good movie. I mean, uh I love Carnage in the comics, although I wish again Carnage was a lot more evil in the comics. I wish we could have seen a lot more of that, but in general I really really love the movie. So
Nice. Nice. I wish I could say the same. Uh, Venom, a little background for me in Venom. I obviously know him from Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of my favorite heroes. It's been hard for me to reconcile the fact from the very beginning that this was told without Spider-Man. You know what I mean? That this was its own thing. That because it's not really quite what I knew and loved from the comics. You know what I mean? And it spun off from that. He spun off from his hate of Spider-Man, and then he wants to actually do well because of his relationship with Spider-Man. There's a lot missing, you know what I mean?
I see what you're
From that.
saying. Yeah.
All yeah. All that being said, I thought the first Venom was good. I really did. I enjoyed it. It was a big surprise. I mean, Tom Hardy is a great actor. You know what I mean? And I think he does a fantastic job. I mean, I think it's funny, the way that studios decided to go is this whole odd couple type of thing, you know what I mean? And really lean into the comedy aspect of it, which is fine. Um, and to your point, Venom is supposed to be and Carnage are more sadistic, especially Carnage. Venom's not sadistic. Carnage is a sadistic villain, you know what I mean? And I mean, the guy's a serial killer
Right.
on top of being this crazy uh, uh, symbiote, so that was missing from it. You know what I mean? A lot of that. I thought that being said, part two just wasn't. It wasn't very exciting to me. It wasn't that. It was funny, but I thought it was really. I know it's short, and a lot of people are applauding that because I it was short to me though. Venom and Tom Hardy. We really didn't even get to see them really go into hero mode together or any type of mode, really. Did we? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, until the very end, right? I mean,
No,
did they really even use their powers at all, really, during the whole movie until the end? I mean,
no,
besides like,
it was when they realized that they needed each other, that the true symbiote host working together. That's when
right, which is at the very end of the
yeah,
movie.
which was at the very end.
So
Yeah,
we never saw him really perform any type of heroics or even semi-heroics. We're talking about an anti-hero here, you know what I mean? But it left a lot lacking for me. Because like I said, I liked the first one, um, even because of all the things that I set up, why I thought it was different because of the origin story and stuff, and being removed from Spider-Man. But the second one just it didn't grab me. I didn't walk out of the movie being like, damn. Now I take that back because the mid credit scene, I'm
yeah,
kind of all over the place right now. The credit scene definitely did make me say, oh damn, you know what I mean? That I'm excited about because he's now going to be in there with Spider-Man, and not only that, but how does this even happen? Is this because of this Doctor Strange Spider-Man situation that's going
right.
on? You know what I mean, or what? So I can't wait to see where all of that part of it leads. But as a movie as a whole, it just left a lot lacking for me. It just really wasn't. It didn't grab me at all. It didn't.
Right. Well, I expected more, but again, that 1 hour and a half, time frame we got really had, it felt a little condensed, but
Yeah.
I mean, we could have had I guess a longer, not a longer fight scene, but a longer, more than just one main fight, I guess, between him and Carnage, I don't see, I didn't like the fact that I guess Carnage died at the end. I mean, well, Cassidy,
Well,
got his
it
head
just
bitten off.
goes. Yeah, and it just goes again to show why every superhero movie almost has to kill the bad guy at the end. You know what I mean? That happens. That's just been a major thing going on since
Yeah,
the
but
first Batman,
yeah,
when
I
with
didn't
Michael
like.
Keaton when Joker got killed. I don't like it either. I'm saying I hate that. That's one of the things I hate about. I mean, I love the fact that we're getting all these superhero movies right now, obviously, but it always is a main thing that for me. It's like the bad guy dies. There's no like, oh, he's in jail, he could come back around again, you know what I mean, or
Yeah,
anything like that. So, but I mean, so I'm with you on that. I hate that they killed him off, and I guess maybe even Shriek too, right? I mean, let's talk
technically.
about the acting. The acting is still was great. I thought, like I said, Tom Hardy does a fantastic job
Hmm.
as Eddie Brock. You know, the fact that they have Michelle Williams in the movie, I
Brought
think
back. Yeah.
they brought her back, but I'm really surprised because she's a fantastic actress. And she kind of falls into that damsel in distress
True.
uh thing at the end with her being caught. It just it seems so formulaic with the girlfriend getting captured and him having to go save her.
Right.
I just was kind of surprised by that an actress of her stature fell into that
Right.
role. You
I
know what I
like that they
mean?
brought back, she Venom, she was for a little bit there where she brought Venom into the interrogation room. Um
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I like the fact that she was helping Eddie Brock because she was not only helping him, she was helping Venom. So she went back and was talking to that store clerk. All that was a hilarious scene.
Yeah, that's true. That was, I mean, again, it was very, the movie has some funny stuff, a lot of good comedy in it.
Right. Now,
Um,
the again, the end when him
what,
I'm sorry.
before we move real quick before we move into the, I just got to say Woody Harrelson too. We talked about the acting. I thought Woody Harrelson did a great job for what he was doing as Carnage.
Oh yeah. No.
Woody Harrelson.
I was expecting his big old curly fro from the first movie we saw, but he was all, nice and slick.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, he did a good job. I mean, Woody Harrelson's always played psycho roles. He's good at playing, you know, demented type,
natural natural
natural
born
born,
killers, man.
exactly, natural born killers. So
Yeah,
yeah, he did really good at that, but I don't think they should have killed him off. But then again, I
no,
see why, because again of the ending, the secret ending mid-credit scene just turns everything around. So
Yeah. So he could always come back,
exactly.
I guess. You know what I mean? So yeah, he could always
I
come
mean, he
back.
can
No
always
matter
come
who
back
knows.
from a different multiverse, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true. You talked about the fight scenes. And I'm not saying there needed to be the fight because the fight scene that they had was actually really good
Yeah.
and it lasted a while. You know, it was a long fight scene. It is interesting, and not that they have to do it, but you know, there's usually always that mid movie fight scene that they always have. Also, you know what I mean, or their first little taste of combating each other.
Right.
Um, and that this one didn't have that at all. You know what I mean? But I think that's refreshing in a way. So I'm not saying it needed more action scenes. It just was just, I don't know. It just didn't grab me. This movie just didn't really. When I walk out of a superhero movie, usually I'm like, man, I almost feel like I'm that superhero because I've been living that superhero's life for the past hour or 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Right.
This
Right.
now I was just like, you know,
Do
my
you
son liked it.
oh well.
He
Yeah,
thought it was good.
my daughter texted me right after she saw it, up at college. She loved it. I mean, she's a Spider-Man fan, so and she was dying, chomping at the bit to, you know, finally hear that he's joining the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe we'll get a full. Maybe he'll finally get his. That's missing from him too. You know, he's just in solid black. We need the
right,
spider
the
symbol.
spider. Well,
You know.
see that whole, like I said, that whole secret ending opens a whole other can of worms because not only did we see finally Spider-Man, we got to see, I guess, Venom like instantly like looked at him and like what he's made like
Bad
like
guy.
he was like all of a sudden a bad guy or something, like something snapped or I don't know, it looks like he wants to take down Spider-Man even though he doesn't even know who he is.
You know that would be kind of cool if he shows up in Spider-Man 3.
The No Way Home.
Yeah, I mean, very well
Well,
could happen. There's been rumors. I mean, there's rumors that everybody's on that set, but there have been rumors that Tom Hardy was on that set too. You know what I mean? If we're gonna just talk about, I mean, that movie just becomes a jam-packed full who's who of everything at that point. It'd just be 3 hours long.
right. I mean, he is part of the Sinister Six, is he not? Venom
Yeah, I believe.
with Doc Ock and Vulture and I believe Craven the Hunter. I mean, that which is slated to be made here next year, a couple years already.
Yeah, so this means that then, unless they're going to say that Craven the Hunter's universe is completely separate from
Ah,
everybody's universe, which makes no sense. So this is awesome then that Craven and all of that stuff will take place, in this whole new Marvel universe. And same as oh my gosh, when it comes out with Jared Leto here in February.
oh, Morbius,
Mobius, yeah,
Mobius.
Morbius, yes. So that'd be tight too. I mean, it's great. I
We
mean,
already
then we're
know.
all the Spider Verse and Marvel universes clashing together here,
Yeah, we already know that
combining.
Mobius is connected to the Spider Verse. So
Yeah.
this one really redeemed a lot of people trashing, I guess, the first one in regards to it not being anything related to Spider-Man, its
Right.
own universe, so to say.
You talk
But
about
now,
Venom, people are, yeah.
yeah, in the Venom, yeah. So bringing him now into, the MCU Spider-Verse really, got a lot of people just, salivating because, finally we get to see, you know, just like in the comics, the big old fight and stuff. I mean, although, like you said at the beginning, it negates the fact how Carnage, how Venom came to be with the black suited Spider-Man and all that,
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. Again, that this whole multiverse thing is gonna turn a lot of things around. I mean, uh, because of that, I think we're going to be getting, the X-Men. We're going to get in Fantastic Four. We're getting a lot of more, you know, characters now brought in as an excuse to this whole multiverse, thing
Oh
happening.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I
But
mean, Yeah, that we already know that's going to happen. But it just so I mean, looking back at it now, is Venom as still as where would you rate Venom? Let There Be Carnage. In the past few superhero movies that you've seen so far in
Oh, in the
2021,
past?
in the past 2021,
Oh, boy.
of the three that have come out so far, Venom, Shang Chi, and Black Widow. Oh, and well, no, we'll just do the Marvels. We'll just do Marvel.
I would say two right behind Shang-Chi. I really didn't care for Black Widow. I could have missed
Really?
it altogether. It was a good movie, but yeah, no. I mean, this whole COVID thing really threw it for a loop. I would have probably enjoyed it more at the theater. It was still a good movie, but no, that's three.
So Venom falls number two
Yes.
behind
Now we
Shang-Chi.
still have two more this year, correct? Eternals and Spider-Man, or is it just
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Yes, we do. No, it's Eternals and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Eternals in
we
November.
got two more. So that of course is gonna go way down. I mean, depending on what the Eternals or how Eternals comes out, I think Spider-Man No Way Home will top all the movies from this year easily.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. I think that's probably going to be the case for sure. But I would say, man, you didn't ask me. I'm gonna give you my opinion anyway. That my top three so far would be is my top, my top three are not my top three. I mean, my rating is Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Venom.
And then Venom.
I
Yeah.
really like Black Widow. I might even say Black Widow. Yeah, I even made him. I'll keep it. Yeah,
Uh,
Venom to me is it was three. It falls three out of the three so far. It just didn't do anything for me. Maybe on a second watch I'll appreciate it again, but for this one it didn't take me anywhere. You know what I mean? I didn't. It was just watching. I was just watching.
really.
I thought the performances were good. Again, I thought Woody Harrelson did a great job. Naomi Harris, I believe, is who played Shriek, if I'm not mistaken. I thought she did good, right?
Yeah. In
You
the
know,
in the comics, I
I
believe she's the yellow Venom. She gets the symbiote in the comics.
gotcha. And also, but she also had that power, right?
Yeah, the
And then
streaky
that
power.
symbiote, the
Going back
symbiote
to
or
that,
whatever.
do you remember in part one, did they ever mention or did they ever show that Venom's weakness was sound, like they showed here in part one? Part two, I mean.
Yes, I think that did come into play, right? Didn't it? Or no?
I don't remember part one because when they started talking about the loud noises and stuff and him, it really made me remember Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire. You
Yeah,
know
the bell.
how he defeated Venom with the loud sounds of the banging of the pipes. And I was like, did they even mention that in part one?
I think they did.
I don't recall. I mean,
I
I'd have
think
to watch that because
I don't remember either, but I would think they did because that's definitely from the comics.
oh yeah, yeah,
You know, that's definitely lifted from the comics. That scene, that was one thing that Spider-Man 3 kind of got right, was back to the Sam Raimi ones, was the fact that they did recreate that scene with him yanking the symbiote off and the bell ringing, and then you know what I mean?
right.
That they did a good. They showed that. That was a nice little recreation, straight from the comics. But yeah, old Venom with every carnage. Sorry, guys. I'm going to give it a thumbs down on my part. Yeah. It's still a thumbs up because it's not a terrible comic book movie. We're not talking about like it's Steel or it's
Right.
or I can't even think of another or Catwoman or anything like that. It's not that, it's not those two movies, but it just to me it just didn't grab me.
Okay. Well, I mean, no, that's perfectly fine. That's what that's what we're supposed to do, either agree or disagree. So,
Exactly. Yeah, well,
well,
so
that's a
you're gonna
quick
what do you
question about the ending, though. It's obvious it was a multiverse glitch right there that brought him over into the Spider Verse or to the new MCU uh, you know, movie storyline. What point of that do you think that was? Was that WandaVision? Was that Loki and series involvement? Was that the movie we're about to see in December for No Way Home?
Actually, I'm going to say that it's Loki's
Loki's
thing.
and Sylvie's
Yeah,
involvement
because only
in
because of where it falls when he's looking at Peter Parker, it looks like that's when he's very first being unmasked.
See, that's what I
The
thought. When I
news
saw it, I was
report.
like, that point in time, is he seeing a live? It's like, oh, this is, Peter Parker has come out or been. So that would have been before said,
He
Doctor
goes to
Strange
see
involvement, right?
Strange. Exactly. Now that we could be wrong to your point. I mean, it very well could be some news report that's rerunning about a story about him and showing that. I took it, if I'm not, I thought that was like live footage being shot that we're gonna see from Far From Home when they
That's
chase him down and catch him on the thing. You know what I mean, or something like
right.
that. Catch him on
That's
the bridge. Yeah. So that's what I think, man.
yeah, because there's
Should
there's
be.
those three different events that we know of as far as the multiverse breaking that it could what caused Venom to come to
Yep.
MCU. So I was talking with my daughter about it, and she thinks it's, like you said, maybe old footage or what do you call it, old footage again, of the Spider-Man getting captured, and
Yeah.
it was Doctor Strange, or supposedly Doctor Strange that did it, because again, that's another, is that even Doctor Strange?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing we could be discussing, a whole nother thread that be pulled. Which that'll be fun, man. I can't wait till we actually are talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. You know what I mean? But it is, we've got a few more months, just a few more
Yeah,
months
it's
to
what,
wait
two and a half
for that.
months ready to go.
2.5 months or so. Yep. Before we get to see it. Well, man, I'm trying to think, was there anything else that was, you know, the detective, I think we haven't talked about him. Uh who I believe they showed his eyes turning blue. The detective who knows who
I
Eddie
forgot
Brock
about that.
and Venom are the same thing. You know what I mean? I believe, what's his name? Toxic, I believe, is a symbiote that this detective becomes later on in the comics. Um, so it'll be, I guess they planted the seed for that to happen
It
here in the
got
movies, you
again,
know?
but now that it's a different, was he brought into the multiverse as well? I mean, there's a lot of, are we getting Michelle Williams still? Are we now going to have in New Way Home, we're going to see Tobey Maguire? So are we going to get a Topher Grace Venom? Oh my God, there's so many questions.
I saw a funny thing about that when they were asking Topher if he was back for Spider-Man 3. And he was like, funny enough, they had to ask, the back for the new Spider-Man 3 Far From Home. And he was like, funny enough, they had to ask me about that. You know what I mean? But hey, I guess we can never rule out that appearance from Toby or from Topher Grace, in the Tobey Maguire movies. Who knows? Who knows? But like I said, that movie has to be 3 hours long, my friend, if they're going to have all these people popping in and out. Because I want more than just a cameo. I need a quick little something or other.
Oh yeah,
It'd be
I
cool
mean,
if there's some
even
cameos.
yeah.
It'd
Oof.
be cool. No matter what. I think they got a lot of pressure around on this, and they can't. I don't think Marvel's going to fall under the pressure. I think this movie's going to be awesome. There's just
Right.
so much build up and discussion. You know what I mean? It's gotta the final one has to just be awesome, and they'll pull through. I think they'll do a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and of course we'll get a Venom 3 too, because like I said, this movie is going to be it's definitely a huge hit. We'll get a Venom 3, so who knows where that one will take us? If it's Spider-Man and Venom fighting each other, or teaming
Teaming
up
up.
for each other, maybe to
Yeah.
take out Carnage, fighting it first, and then teaming up to take out Carnage. Or
Which
who knows?
which they did in the
Carnage
comics.
come back.
They joined together
Exactly.
to fight Carnage. It was a Maximum Carnage storyline.
Yep.
So that would be an awesome storyline to see. But of course, we'd have to have Carnage come back.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. Well, my friend, I think we've said it all about this. You know what I mean? I think we're split on this one, first time for a while, I think. About, again, I'm recommending it because it's awesome. You know, I mean, it's awesome to have a Venom movie, you know, out. So it's good. It's just not, to me, one of my favorite comic book films.
Right,
It's not a
right,
terrible film. It's just not something I was like loving.
right. And again, it just proves that people are hungry for the for movies at the theater. So because that made some cash.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah. And
especially.
out. It made more than the first movie.
That's what I'm saying.
It made more than
Especially it shows that it made first
yeah, and
more
during
than
the
the first.
pandemic. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy.
It for certainly is. It definitely is, my friend. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us. LT, anything else you got to say about that? I mean, am I leaving anything out?
No, man.
Yeah, it was good. It'll be a huge hit. We'll get a third one for sure. Now, really, the only question will be: are we going to see Venom and Spider-Man fighting Venom 3 or Spider-Man 4?
Right. Or we'll even
You
cameo
know,
here in No Way Home here soon in December.
yeah. Who
Cool.
knows? Guys, we're anxiously awaiting it just like you guys are. So, hey, well, thank you very much for joining us, guys. Let us know your thoughts as always. We had a comment the other day that said, let's do an episode about what if. So, what if? I know we've talked about it here and there, but what we're going to do here in the next week or so is actually just talk about the whole season as a whole. Ooh, that was a lot. Whole season as a
Whole
whole.
season as a
Talk
whole.
about, yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So tune into that. Give us any other ideas about any other episodes as well. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, LT, my friend. It's been a pleasure as always.
Yes, sir, man. Again, until next week. We'll see you.
Yep. Later, guys.
Bye bye.